Hello there and welcome back to some more Forza Motorsport 7. Today a new car pack has been released and this one has a bit of a twist. This is what I'm going to call for now the November car pack. I don't believe they've got any plans to release any other car pack this month, so we will call it the November car pack, and it is, well, the Hot Wheels car pack, which is available right now for free. You don't have to pay for this, it's not part of the car pass, it is entirely free to every player of Forza Motorsport 7. There's 7 cars inside. I wasn't sure to cover this in the update video or cover it as its own separate video, however I decided to cover it as its own separate video. Let's take a look inside the pack. We begin with the 2012 Hot Wheels Rip Rod, 110 horsepower, 72 foot-pound torque, 1,500 pounds of weight, D-Class 396 PI, mid-engined rear-wheel drive. Of course, we saw this car in Forza Horizon 3, we've seen pretty much all of these cars in Forza Horizon 3, a couple of them in Forza Motorsport 6, and then a couple of other cars are pre-tuned versions of cars we've already got in the game. The Rip Rod is actually one of my favourite Hot Wheels cars. I really like this thing. I believe it's powered by a little 2-cylinder turbo motor, or at least that's what it said on the website back in Horizon 3. It's a pretty cool little car. Didn't handle particularly well in Horizon 3. I doubt it'll get much use out of anyone in this game either, because let's be honest, it's not exactly set up for this game. You know, this game doesn't have any off-road routes or so on, and this is more an off-roading car, but it's still quite a cool, nice little thing to have. Next up, we have the 2011 Hot Wheels Bone Shaker, 402 horsepower, 398 foot-pound of torque, 2,205 pounds of weight, B-Class 561 PI, front-engined rear-wheel drive. The return of the Bone Shaker, of course. This has the 50th anniversary Hot Wheels livery on it now, as opposed to the livery that I previously had, which was like flames on it and stuff. It looks pretty cool. I do quite like the 50th anniversary liveries which all these cars have. I'm assuming the original liveries will be available in the people paint them and so on and so forth, or import them over, so that's not too much of an issue if you prefer the original liveries. The Bone Shaker, having driven this thing in Forza Motorsport 6, it was terrible. It is a pretty awful car to drive. It looks cool, but yeah, it's an entirely awful car to drive. I believe it has ridiculously big rear tyres, in Horizon 4 at least. It'll be interesting to see if it does in this game as well. But yeah, it doesn't matter whether you put big tyres on it or not, this thing is not a particularly great handling car. But then again, you wouldn't really expect it to be. Another car which you wouldn't expect to be good handling is this, the 2005 Hot Wheels Ford Mustang, 504 horsepower, 458 foot-pound torque, 3,300 pounds of weight, A-Class 666 PI, accurate, front-engined rear-wheel drive. You also wouldn't expect this car to be good to drive, but I tell you something, back in Forza Motorsport 6, this was actually one of my favourite driving cars in the game. This thing's really nice, as in it's like Shelby GT350R levels of nice almost, at least the last time I drove it. I don't know if it's the same in this game. But yeah, this is a really nice car to drive. It's one of my more favourites from this pack. I do quite like the way it looks. I especially like it now it's got a new livery. It doesn't have the old one, which was kind of weird. It was like blue and looked very strange. It definitely looked like a Hot Wheels car. But I do prefer this sort of more classic livery, and it is a pretty cool looking car. Pretty good driving car as well, or at least hopefully still is. Now we come into sort of some of the pre-tuned of cars which are already in the game. One here is the 1970 Hot Wheels Chevrolet Corvette ZR1 50th anniversary original version. That's a lot. 461 horsepower, 558 foot-pound torque, 3,483 pounds of weight, B-Class 553 PI, front-engined rear-wheel drive. This thing is certainly American. It is one of the most American cars in the game, aside from, of course, the 1973 Nissan Skyline. Yeah, it's interesting. Not a fan of the C3 Corvette, to be honest with you. It's not my sort of car, so I'm not going to get too much enjoyment out of this. As far as comparing it to the original C3 Corvette, this thing does appear to have Hot Wheels tyres on it, which I believe in the previous games were race tyres. Don't know if they're still race tyres in this game. In fact, we can probably... no, we can't find out, because these cars are all parts of the Forza Specials category. But yeah, it should be an improvement on the standard C3 if that's sort of what you're looking for, but you know, obviously it'll probably have a few different bits and bobs as far as what you can do to it modification wise, but most people will probably stick with the standard C3 and have some more flexibility in the way they can customize it. Next up, we have the 1969 Hot Wheels Twin Mill, 1,400 horsepower, 1,400 foot-pound torque, 4,696 pounds of weight, A-Class 691 PI, front-engined rear-wheel drive. Of course, one of the most famous Hot Wheels cars of all time. This thing was in Horizon 3, has not been in a motorsport game yet, and I'm sure many people are eager to see me drive this thing because it will probably kill me. 1,400 horsepower is an awful lot. It probably makes it one of the most powerful cars in the game. I'm really not looking forward to driving this thing, considering it has absolutely no visibility out the front, and unlike in Horizon games, I drive in cockpit mode in motorsport games, and yeah, this thing has no visibility. It's pretty mental. I quite like it. As far as it goes to drive, it's probably not going to be very good, but it is here. The Twin Mill is a pretty incredible bit of kit. I'm sure some people are very excited to see this car here. I am too, but yeah, as I said, not excited to drive it, let's put it that way. Next up, we have the 1969 Hot Wheels Chevrolet Camaro Super Sport Coupe 50th Anniversary Original Edition, 460 horsepower, 465 foot-pound torque, 3,320 pounds of weight, B-Class, a 528 PI, front-engined rear-wheel drive. Of course, I'm not much a fan of the Chevrolet Camaro, as I'm not a fan of the C3 Corvette, so I'm not going to try and go into this car too much, but compared to the original Camaro, it is definitely up in PI, which, again, I believe these tyres are probably race tyres. This might be an actually okay car to drive. I quite like the livery on it, the white roof and the little black accent on the back. It does look quite cool. Yeah, not a whole lot to say about this one, but it should be a pretty fun car nonetheless. And finally today, we have the 1963 Hot Wheels Volkswagen Beetle 50th Anniversary Original Version. 165 horsepower, 162 foot-pound torque, 1,760 pounds of weight, a C-Class 443 PI, rear-engined rear-wheel drive, the lowest PI car in this pack, I believe, unless the... No, I forgot the name of it now, the little thing, the rip rod, is the lowest PI. This one's pretty interesting. In the trailer, this thing was doing wheelies. I don't know if it can do wheelies in the actual game. 165 horsepower doesn't seem like it'd be enough to get it to do wheelies, but maybe it does. If it does actually do wheelies, I'm also terrified to drive it. It's a powerful Beetle, which should mean at least it will be quick, because these cars are actually pretty quick when you build them up. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be probably quite a terrifying thing to drive. Again, as much as I don't like the Volkswagen Beetle, this thing actually does have quite a cool livery. I quite like the purple with the black arches. It does look quite nice. So there you go, that is the free Hot Wheels car pack, and you can't really complain about free stuff, so I'm not going to. I'm excited to see the 2005 Ford Mustang back. The Beetle looks pretty cool, and the Twin Mill should be mental to drive. Everything else, I mean, I like the Rip Rod as well, but everything else here just sort of probably won't get much use out of me. I'll probably do a Forza Top Gear laps on these cars, and, well, that will be the end of that probably. But again, it's a free car pack. I can't really complain. We are still awaiting the final car pack for the car pass owners. Maybe that'll come in December. Apparently they're having licensing issues with that one or something, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. But nevertheless, there you go. That is the Hot Wheels Forza Motorsport 7 car pack. I will be doing a video possibly tomorrow on the actual November update, because it has brought a few new interesting features to the game. Anyways, thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, farewell.